Coming up this week on EagleVision News, big changes are coming to Biola's student government.
And Biola experienced a little bit of Christmas cheer at the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony.
Plus, we'll show you how you can spread joy this holiday season to those in need. All this and more coming up. Hi, and welcome to our special outdoor edition of EagleVision News. I'm Natalie Grace.
And I'm Tiffany Brevard, and we're at the beautiful Metzger lawn. Over there we have a gorgeous Christmas tree to bring in the holiday season.
It's our special Christmas episode, the last one of the semester, and I think it's going to be great.
And let's take a look at this week's headlines. Protests continued Sunday in cities across the country over a grand jury decision not to indict a New York City police officer in the choking death of an unarmed black man. In Philadelphia, about 200 protesters, including clergy, laid across the streets outside a sports arena and yelled, "Don't shoot," in what they call a die-in. Protest leaders are calling this a humanity issue in America and are hoping to teach people about racial inequality. At least 300 people around the nation have been arrested since the protests started last week.
A SoCal woman has prompted a Northridge Walgreens to pull a wrapping paper from its shelves this last Sunday after complaining of finding a swastika in its design. The woman says she was shopping in the Hanukkah section when she found the wrapping paper. She then complained to the managers. Walgreens says other stores are removing the print as well, but they could not comment on the design itself.
Firefighters over the weekend jumped to the rescue of a stray dog who got his head stuck in a styrofoam production building. The dog's head somehow got pitted in some of the machinery at the factory and couldn't get out on its own. Firefighters were called to free the dog's head using olive oil and a hoist. Overall, it took about 20 minutes. The dog had no injuries and was brought to a local animal control office. Happy to be free.
Biola's Associated Students is making some pretty big changes this year, some of which might affect you. Reporter Josh Cristianto has the story.
A big change is coming next school year to Biola's Associated Students. After years of having the student government and student activity boards under one brand name, administration officials and student development have decided to break apart AS into two new entities. The AS Senate and President's Office will be renamed the Student Government Association, while the boards responsible for intramurals, clubs, mock rock, and other events will be reallocated under the new name Student Programming and Activities.
Now, this is the biggest change the student government's been through in a while, but students here don't necessarily have a strong opinion about what's going on.
I think it's probably a good thing. It's probably needed.
If they felt like it was a wise decision to make, and it kind of sounds like a good decision, I don't really have any further input other than that sounds good.
Well, I trust that the decision was made with discernment, and if that's how Biola thinks that the student body will be run best, then I trust that.
Josh Cristianto, EagleVision News.
And now we go to our special live edition of EV on the Street, where reporter Brooke Carlucci is asking you just when you found out Santa wasn't real.
All right, Ryan, when did you find out Santa wasn't real?
Probably by the age of 7.
I'd say that's a nice little average age, not too old, not too young. How did you think when you found out? Were you surprised, or were you like, oh, I already knew?
I was like, I already knew.
Oh, so you're playing it cool?
Yeah.
Good plan there. All right.
You know, I don't actually ever remember finding out that Santa wasn't real. I feel like I just kind of grew up knowing that,
Well, mine is a little more embarrassing. I was actually on the older side, but we won't mention the age.
How old is older side?
12. Right before
not
preteen.
Not that bad. Anyway.
Not too bad. Well, thank you so much, Brooke. We'll be sure to hear back from her coming up. As finals are coming up, students are searching out the best places on campus to study. We have reporter Hunter Grenier live at the Fireplace Pavilion letting us know how that's going. Hunter?
Thanks, guys. As you can see, there are many dedicated students who are getting fired up to study for finals. So why do you think this is such a great place to study?
I just think it's really relaxing here with the fireplace. It's really easy to concentrate and a great place to get all my work done.
And do you think the people walking by affect you in any way?
I don't think so. It's really easy to focus here so I don't get distracted.
Sounds like a plan. I think we should all study. Reporting for EagleVision News, I'm Hunter Grenier. Back to you.
And now we go back to Brooke, who's currently doing our live edition of EV on the Street.
Ethan, When did you find out that Santa Claus wasn't real?
I never believed that he was real. Actually, my parents didn't teach me.
That's a different answer now. Yeah. So kind of a Christianity thing.
Right, definitely.
Kind of putting Christ at the center.
Yeah, all my life.
Awesome. What about you, Wayne?
I was about 8 years old. I kind of figured out what maps were, and I couldn't figure out where Santa's whole thing was in relation to the map. So I just went on knowing that it wasn't real and not telling my parents, because I thought, if I didn't tell them that Santa wasn't real, then they'd get me the Santa gifts too, that kind of thing.
More gifts.
Played it for a long time.
So did you get like the same amount of gifts as your friends?
Yeah, definitely, but it was just under the understanding that it was for my parents.
Awesome. All right, thanks, guys. Back to you, Tiffany and Natalie.
Christmas season is in full swing now, and Biola celebrated in style with their annual tree lighting ceremony. Reporter Brenda LaFuente takes us there.
The Christmas tree lighting ceremony was nothing short of a magical evening. Although it was held in a different spot on campus this year, Metzger Lawn was filled with hundreds of people joining in to celebrate this holiday season.
Biola students, families, faculty, friends, and alumni have all gathered around Metzger Lawn to join in Biola's annual tree lighting.
Once everyone's candles were lit, everyone joined together in a countdown waiting for the Christmas tree to be filled with lights. Classic Christmas worship songs were led by a live band throughout the night, concluding the night with a classic rendition of Silent Night.
It's been fun watching the little ones dance around. It's always more fun when you have little kids, and it gives it a whole new little spice. So.
And of course, it wouldn't be a tree lighting without some fake snow. Although making snow angels wasn't possible, the kids still loved playing in the snow.
My favorite part about the tree lightings is that we get to decorate and make cookies. And a star. My favorite part is the music.
This has been Brenda LaFuente reporting for EagleVision News. And now back to Brooke Carlucci for some more Evie on the Street. Brooke?
All right, guys, when did you find out that Santa wasn't real?
Probably I say I was about 5, and it was a pretty devastating thing to hear.
What happened? That's pretty young.
One day I saw my parents wrapping the presents, and I realized that it didn't come from Santa, but from my parents.
It was them. Yeah. Oh, dear. What about you?
Well, when I was little, I never really believed in Santa. It wasn't something that my parents were like, oh, Santa's coming, you better be good. Like, it was just like, I sort of always knew that he wasn't real, but I definitely told some little kids on the playground that Santa wasn't real.
You were the evil one. Yeah. All right, Natalie, Tiffany, back to you guys.
Even though we're well on our way to the middle of December, things still haven't really cooled down here in Southern California.
And we have Jasmine Rose to give us our forecast. Jasmine, it's still warm, but is it ever going to cool down?
Yeah, I'm actually enjoying this warm weather, but it should cool down later this week. We had a high of 77 degrees, but later tonight we'll have a low of 53 degrees. Taking a look at our nationwide map, we can see that there are major winter storm warnings being issued in the Northeast. Heavy rain, snow, and wind are expected of the storm and is set to develop later this week. Back here at Biola, our 7-day forecast will kick off this week with a high of 75 degrees and will remain consistent until Thursday, where temperatures will drop to 69 degrees. Then on Friday, we will experience rain, which will carry on until Saturday, and then our week will end with a high of 68 degrees on Sunday. And that's our weather. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. The film program continues to grow around this time of the semester while many film majors spend their countless hours editing their final projects. Reporter Jake Millar gives us an inside look on the film program and a current short film called Tornado Alley.
The Biola film program has been growing massively over the past decade. A competitive major by default, students who want to be a part of it must apply for consideration. Featuring a full-service production center with 11 edit bays, sound stages, an equipment room, screening room, and more, the film majors have much at their disposal.
It's a hub of creativity here at the Biola Production Center.
At this hour, 12:31 a.m., students are hard at work in the edit bays on their projects. With final season just around the corner, these students are tightening up their projects and will be up throughout the night. Students in the past have made use of the opportunities given to them by the film program, such as Scott Derrickson, a Biola alumni who wrote and directed The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Sinister, and Deliver Us from Evil. Current students have big shoes to fill, but for Sam Helene and David Tracy, this is no problem. Helene and Tracy are the creative and technical forces behind a new short film called Tornado Alley. The film is shot entirely by Helene and directed solely by Tracy.
I guess broad plotline is a young couple is taking a road trip to try and rekindle their relationship. They're like failing, I guess. I mean, there are 5 of us like total, pretty much 4 of us for most of it.
I mean,
it's a running gun.
Yeah, exactly. You just don't, you have a somewhat of a schedule kind of in mind. A majority of the film was like luck with things lining up. I could definitely experience the story a lot more just for myself.
Tracy and Helene hope to start shopping the short around at festivals in the coming months, so make sure you keep an eye out for it. This has been Jacob Millar, EagleVision News.
Shopping for everyone on your gift list this time of year can be pretty stressful.
But thankfully today we've got Becky Lay here with us to give us some tips on how to really take care of it. Becky, what have you got for us?
I've got a lot of stuff, guys. Christmas is only weeks away, so it's time to start that stressful Christmas shopping. I have some tips on how you can survive it this year. The later that you wait to go Christmas shopping, the more crowded stores will get. No one wants to face that terrible crowds, but make sure you don't wait until the last minute or things will get ugly. You should make a list of everything you need and hit those stores as soon as you can. Planning out your route beforehand is key. Try and get to those stores right as they open. Most people will wait until early afternoon to get their shopping done. If a store has what you want on their website, get it there. It is so much easier to shop online than have to push your way through those crowds. There are multiple websites that do not charge for shipping if you live in the United States. By buying your gifts online, you can save time and frustration. But if you have no choice but to go into a store, make sure you bring snacks and water. Getting pushed around by strangers and running to get that last item can be exhausting. Bring a yummy Christmas treat to refuel yourself. And try to avoid shopping hungry. Bring a friend to help you out. With 2 people, you can get your items twice as fast. Meet up before you shop and make a game plan. You can split the store in half and each person can get what they need. This can help you avoid running around the entire store. Make a meeting spot so that way that when you finish shopping, you can meet your friend there and regroup. If you take on a Christmas gift shopping as a team, it can make it more enjoyable and fun.
Those are some great tips. I never even thought about doing my shopping online. It just sounds so much easier.
Oh, it's easy and it's cheaper.
See?
That's awesome, Becky. Thank you so much. The city of La Mirada has started their annual toy drive again, and Biola students are getting involved and giving back. Reporter Daisy Villanueva has the story.
With the holiday season approaching quickly, Biola University is partnering with the city of La Mirada for their annual holiday toy and food drive. The University Communications and Marketing Office partners with the city each year in hope of being a blessing to the community.
In our effort in trying to reconnect with the city of La Mirada and bridge gaps between the city and Biola, we reached out to them a couple years ago, well 4 years ago, and said, how can we help? You know, is there anything that Biola can do during the holiday season? And they said the food and toy drive would be the best opportunity. So we partnered with them then, and then ever since then they've contacted us to want to partner again.
Decorated Christmas boxes are placed all throughout campus for students to donate unwrapped toys and unperishable food items to help La Mirada children and families have a good Christmas this year. Once Biola students drop off the canned food and toys, they will then be brought to the La Mirada Civic Center, where then they will be distributed to the community.
I think it's really awesome that we can support our community in this way because we're all really lucky to go to a school like Biola. I know I transferred here this year, so I've just had kind of like new eyes to see like everything that the school is, and it's definitely very community focused, so I've appreciated that.
The last day to donate is on December 16th. This has been Daisy Villanueva, EagleVision News.
Well, I'm sad to say it, but today is actually our last show, and I want to thank you so much for watching it every week this semester. We hope you've enjoyed it this far.
We know that we've enjoyed it, but be sure to check us out next semester when we have the wonderful Kai Sisson and Morgan McKay on the anchor desk. They're going to do a great job, so be sure to check them out. Until then, I'm Natalie Grace.
And I'm Tiffany Brevard. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.